The final stage of a Microsoft Teams meetings app is the post-meeting experience. So in this scenario, meetings can view a custom app experience in a tab from the meeting invite details. In this section, we're going to learn how we can implement a post-meeting experience for attendees, as well as create a meeting stage and talk a little bit about meeting events. Let's start with implementing the meeting stage. Developers can create unique experiences in their meeting app that can be used as the presentation during the meeting. For example, consider a scenario where you have a stand-up meeting app that you've created where attendees can submit topics that they want to present during the meeting. The meeting stage can display a summary of all the topics from all the meeting attendees, as you see here, and indicate if they've been presented so far throughout the meeting. An attendee of the meeting with the meeting presenter role can trigger this view by selecting the present button in the header of the app's side panel experience. As you can see here on the slide, you can see the pointer just below the leave button. You can see where it's hovering over the present icon. Just because this is the experience that we're showing for the meeting stage, you can actually use this exact same experience as the post-meeting experience. And so you see here, the meeting is already concluded, but this time when I choose the stand-up agenda tab, which is my meeting app, I have the option here to, instead of showing the pre-meeting experience where people could submit topics to present, in this case here, we're showing the summary view instead. So in this scenario, this works because the meeting stage is used to show the current presentation status of all the approved stand-up topics that were submitted by the meeting attendees. Now, the way that I could do this and show these two different experiences is using some conditional logic to display the same view and just reuse it for the two different experiences here. So here what you see is I'm doing a check to see if the current start time is defined. I'm checking to see if we're in if the meeting has started yet. And if it has, then I'm showing my pre-meeting experience. But otherwise, I want to show my meeting stage user experience. That's really my post-meeting experience as well. So you can see that on the third line there with that long if statement. The other option that I have is I'm going to check to see am I currently in the meeting stage, a little bit farther down, the third case statement. And in this case here, I'm going to use the exact same user experience. Now let's talk a little bit about meeting events. So developers can create a bot that when it's added to a meeting, it can receive real-time meeting events. So for example, the bot can receive notifications when a meeting starts or it ends, and this can be used to summarize information that's been collected by your app during the meeting and post it in the meeting's chat as like a summary. And so you can see this here. Here's a simple bot, and what it's doing is it's implementing the on-turn activity. And what it's going to do is it's checking to see if the activity that the bot received is of type event, and the context activity name that was being passed in as well is a meeting start or a meeting end activity. And if it is, you can do whatever you want, but in this case here, all I'm doing is I'm just sending back a response to the activity that simply says the meeting is started or the meeting is ended. But I could, in my scenario I was using a minute ago with the stand-up meeting topics, I could summarize and say that attendee number 1 had 5 topics that were approved, but only presented 4 of them. Whereas attendee number 3 presented no topics, and attendee number 5 presented all of the topics that they had submitted and that were approved.